we have covered a lot, but there's a lot we've left uncovered. For instance, Francis, we haven't even mentioned that you were chair of President Biden's Presidential Council of Advisors on Science and Technology.
4 years.
There's a whole lot to say in there. What did that teach you?
It taught me pretty much what we heard in this wonderful last session. And I have to say, you were treated to some really important thoughts and experience. It took me 4 years to learn what we went over in that session, and that is that, and I come from a deep science background, that science is only as good as what people do with it and what people accept. And if you don't embed science in people, what is it?
Yeah. And what would be your lesson for how to embed science in people?
That will take another Nobel Dialogue.
For a start, be honest about science.
Be
right?
honest, communicate, talk to as many different people as you can, absorb, learn, right? We heard wonderful ideas in the last session. Be willing to listen and learn and be humble.
Thank you very much indeed. We seem to be in a line, so Paul, would you like to reflect at all on what you've heard today? It's hard. You can't possibly sum up what's happened. But
well, I can just think of a few words. I think we need political will and global responsibility to take action. And that means we need proper political leadership rather than some of the political leaders we now have, which are simply damaging all of these initiatives. We have to be absolutely clear about that. I think I was impressed by the word local, doing things locally that are appropriate locally, that can be delivered locally. And that actually also, I think, is appropriate in more developed nations as well. But it's obviously the case in poorer nations. So I think that was something else that I would think of. Oh yes, I also think we have to, in thinking of healthcare, is designing a proper doctor-patient relationship. And there's several reasons for me emphasizing that. One being, that is probably the best place to restore faith into scientific understanding, if we have a proper doctor-patient relationship. And to deliver that, I think we just have to think of healthcare in that sort of way. I think what we've done, particularly in the UK, where we have healthcare in principle, free at the point of delivery, we've just ruined it with management consultants. And I would get rid of management consultants in all of this.
Okay.
That'll do for now.
That's Paul's take home for the day. Okay, good. Jean, would you like to make a comment?
I may go back to Maya's question about regulation. The trade-off between innovation and regulation. We need regulation. There's no question about it. If you think about all the big topics nowadays, platforms, AI, crypto, climate change, whatever, you need regulation because there are lots of market failures. And we need to do something about it, but we should not oppose that to innovation. Europe, and this is a call for Europe actually to get its act together, should not just be a regulatory giant and an innovation midget, as often claimed, because we have the skills, we have the people who can make it happen, but we need the will to do that, and we don't quite have that, and we are back to the politicians. And maybe of some particularly bad ones at this stage in the US, but in Europe we don't have what it takes either to change things and think about the future. So we need to change the way we think about innovation. Entire governance. It's not only a matter of money. We spend too little on innovation in Europe, but I would say we could do much better with the money we have. So the governance could actually make sure that we spend it in the right place. And here I will go, maybe we should have a little bit more power to scientists, which is not inconsistent with what was said before. But in that case, compared to the US, The scientists have more decision power in the US than they do in Europe, except for the ERC. So we need to actually reconcile this innovation and the regulation, because there's no question that we need the regulation. And we, by the way, have to think about the new regulations. Because we have worked, I'm talking about the economists mainly here, but we have worked our entire career on the old-style regulation, up to the platforms. But now you have new problems facing us. The AI, you don't regulate AI exactly the same way you regulate the platforms, even so there are platforms. And same thing with healthcare. You have to invent what is going to, you have to invent how you're going to run clinical trials, and they will be different, and all kinds of business models and regulatory models. So we have lots of work for all of you. We have lots of work ahead of us.
Thank you very much indeed. As Anna pointed out at the beginning of this day, a lot of work went into putting this on, and we steal time from people like you and our other participants, time that isn't easily available just because you're not chairing Biden's council. It doesn't mean you haven't got a million things to be doing. So thank you all for being here. But can I just ask you to finish by telling us why you came? Why does it matter to be here?
It matters because science has to reach people. And I think that the Nobel Foundation does a remarkably good job at doing that. Highly professional, deep in the science, but also deep in what science means for your country, for the world. And I appreciate and I learn from it.
Thank you.
It matters to me. It matters to me because appropriate healthcare is a right of every human being on the planet. And we're now in a position where we can help and assist that with the political will, and we should do so. And it can also be delivered more effectively with science, as we've all said here. And so we have an opportunity. But it means we have to recognize the responsibility that we in advanced nations have, and that we as scientists and healthcare deliverers have in bringing this about. It's a joint world responsibility for all of us.
Thank you.
Well, it's a little difficult to come number 3 after you two, but I think we have a responsibility as Nobel laureates to actually talk not only to the experts, but also talk to the wider audience. Of course, it's still a biased audience because people in this kind of audience is, of course, intellectually curious and educated and things like that. But we need to talk to a broader audience than just experts. We need to be humble as well. That's not always the case, unfortunately, but we need to know, but we need to be credible with respect to the public, because we have to defend experts in the end. I mean, without experts, there is no democracy. Anything goes. So if we really want to keep our democracies, which nowadays is a difficult thing to do, we unfortunately or fortunately have to make the experts more credible and defend them.
And from a moderator's point of view, what a joy to work with people who deliver so beautifully. Thank you all very much indeed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.